Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. So we all love a good vacation, right? And one of the most important things is the airline and the flight overall, right? Well, in today's viral videos, we're going to take a look at people who flew on Spirit Airlines and their travels were a complete disaster.
So I'm the
Let's
type of
take a
person
look.
where I will catch a Spirit flight if it's significantly cheaper than the other airlines because I've never had any problems with Spirit until now. So I'm boarding my plane. I forgot I even had this shirt on, but this is the shirt that I have on today. I get on the plane. The flight attendant literally starts yelling at me, "All women matter, all women matter." It took me so long to register what was even happening that I didn't even really understand until I was almost to my seat, and I'm just like, ew, that was the only words that I could muster up. So then I'm sitting there just trying to kind of figure out my feelings, and I was holding back tears. I wanted to start crying because I just I'm not naive. I knew we weren't past that, but it's just not something that I expected to experience. I don't know, especially not on my flight by one of the people who work for a company that I am paying to use their services. So my fiance was going to say something to the flight attendant. I asked him to wait until we landed because she already done showed us what type of time she was on. So I didn't want her to try to make a big deal of it. I wasn't trying to get kicked off the plane. So when we landed, we went to the front of the plane, and my fiance asked who was the captain of the flight attendants or whatever. So we talked to him. We let him know what happened. He apologized for it. And then he told us to email Spirit about it, which I had already planned to do. But I don't know. I just still feel really conflicted that the situation even happened. And had it just been some random person on the street, I would have understood. But you're literally a flight attendant on a flight that I paid for. You're at work. Your personal feelings do not belong here. So you should have kept your mouth shut. Point blank, period. As a customer, I should not be made to feel uncomfortable. So yeah, just wanted to share that experience, and I'll definitely be providing an update once I email Spirit on whatever their response is. Because an apology and understanding is cool and all, but she doesn't need to do that to somebody else. And apparently, this isn't the first issue they've had with this flight attendant. So
let me tell y'all how I got stuck in Vegas. First off, me and my son drove from Memphis, Tennessee, all the way to San Diego, California, 26 hours, because his ass want to buy a car in Memphis and take it to the base, to the naval base in San Diego. So he needs somebody to help him. So why not? It's my son. Anyway, I got a ticket from San Diego, California to Las Vegas, and Las Vegas to Memphis. There was a layover of 50 some minutes, right? I'm like, all right, bet. I'm finna go get me something to eat, use the restroom, sit down, chill until my flight get here. My flight's supposed to be in gate 810, right? So I'm like, all right, bam. I got my headphones in. I'm listening to my music, listen to some YouTube and everything like that. I look up, I'm like, all right, ain't nobody got up from the gate. So, you know what I'm saying? Maybe the flight late. Whole time, I didn't hear over the intercom that they had changed the gate for my flight. So I'm like, hey, excuse me, I think I missed my flight. It's supposed to leave at 3:12. It's 3:16 right now. So I'm like, what, man? Where my flight at? She was like, yeah, it left 10 minutes ago. So we had to get you on the next flight out. So I'm like, okay, bet. When did that come? She said 8 o'clock. I said, all right, bet, I can just stay here. She said 8 a.m. That's tomorrow, y'all. That's 17 hours later. Who the hell not finna sit up in the airport for 17 hours waiting on a damn flight is me. I'm not gonna do that. So, I'm in Vegas. Okay? Only thing is, goddamn. Only thing is, I didn't bring enough bread to have no Vegas fun. So, I'm just fucking stuck in Vegas. I was like, man, you know what? I'm gonna get me a hotel. So that's where I'm at. Got me a hotel for the night. I leave in the morning, and the strip is literally 2 blocks away. I can literally go on that journey and have a good time. But guess what? Another thing, I got sweatpants on. Do you understand me? Guess how hot it is in Vegas right now? It is 102 degrees outside. A lie? So yeah, I'm stuck in Vegas. And I'm finna go to the liquor store, go get me something to eat, come back to this room, drink a little bit, eat my food, watch a movie or two, and go to sleep. This has been a long 48 hours. I'm dead tired.
So I felt extremely obligated to make my first TikTok due to something that happened to me while I was traveling. I am here to give all of you TikTokers yet another reason not to fly Spirit. The story begins where my friend and I have a flight to Las Vegas, supposed to take off at 6, and we get there and our flight is delayed 3 hours until 9:30. We were like, okay, great, we have time to go eat, do schoolwork, this will work out for the better. We're at dinner, having a great time, drinking, no emails, nothing. I had gotten an email saying that our flight was disrupted around 3 o'clock. Let me repeat myself. This email said disrupted, not canceled, not delayed. I thought, oh, it's just the delay. We go back to our terminal to board our 9:30 flight to find out it's canceled. I received no additional email. This is frustrating. Now we have to find our baggage. Eventually, we find our baggage in baggage claim, locked in a room with a glass door. So we thought, okay, we'll go find somebody who can open this door and we'll get our luggage. After 3 hours of searching this airport for an employee that can open this door for us to get our luggage, there is no one, not one Spirit employee in the entire International Charlotte Douglas Airport. We were then told our only option was to wait on a Spirit employee to show up at the airport. The next flight was going to take off at 6 a.m. and we were going to have to wait until 4 in the morning. And let me add, we were not offered another flight to Las Vegas until Sunday. Keep in mind our flight was Thursday evening. That doesn't work. So now we have to find a different flight if we can. So here we are, forced to spend an all-nighter in the Charlotte International Airport in baggage claim, and I am on and off with Spirit all night long. Finally, on my 5th phone call with them concerning compensation and trying to find a way to get our baggage from the room that we can see in, I finally get up to something called the escalation team after I've been promoted 3 times. I tell the escalation team my story. She hangs up on me after being on the phone for an hour. Long story short, we had to cancel all of our Las Vegas plans, cancel hotel, anything. This was my graduation trip. Spirit, thank you. You ruined it. So don't fly with Spirit. They will most likely ruin your travel plans. Don't be fooled by the cheap cost. They are extremely understaffed.
Hi, Spirit Airlines. Do you see that? That is the Las Vegas trip, because I live in Las Vegas. So I hope you really listen, because I've been making quite a lot of videos directed towards you guys. And so I'm gonna give you guys a bit of an update, because I think maybe you might not even know, and that's really what's scary. Hi, Spirit Airlines. My name is Tati, and guess what? You guys lost my luggage and my dead husband. And so this has been an ordeal for about a month now, right? And I've gone through platforms. You guys followed me on TikTok, followed me on my socials, yet there was little to nothing done. And then my claim got denied, and that just was so bad. So then, fast forward to today. Well, I got a phone call from corporate. Your corporate, okay? I think it's Spirit Airlines corporate. Yeah, so I got a call from them, And I was very, very excited. And your employee was very disheartened about how everything was done. So I was over the moon because I was like, I'm gonna get the help that I'm like have been begging for quite literally since everything happened. Short story long, you guys denied my claim because you lied and said that I didn't file the claim in time, and then said you were also denying it because there was no valid proof that our bags were in your care, which is kind of insane just if you actually go through the whole story. And anyways, so I get a phone call from corporate. I think her name was Max. When I tell you heaven sent, an angel, keep her. In fact, promote her. Do good things for her. She was great. Everybody else, fire. Fire. If you take any advice from me, fire everyone else, okay? So anyways, she was like, I saw everything that was done wrong to you, by you. I went through everything, and I just want to apologize sincerely on behalf of Spirit Airlines. And I was like, oh my goodness, like, thank you so much. I was drawn to tears. She was amazing. It was great. She was like, I'm going to diligently work on this. And I was like, thanks, cool. Then she calls me back and she says, hey, they found one of your bags at MCO. I said, what? And she said, I don't want to get your hopes up, but I'm pretty sure it matches the description. So there's one of them here. And I said, oh, no way. This is great news. I said, I hope it's the one with my dead husband in it, but if it's not, okay. And so anyways, right? So I'm so excited, but not getting my hopes up like she asked me not to get my hopes up, right? So I hope you heard that clearly, Spirit, that the bag that they found was at, in fact, MCO, okay? Okay. Sure, then she emails me, and then I get another email that the bags are at MCO. By the way, fire everybody at that airport. That's just my personal opinion. You don't have to listen to me. I don't know too much. But I'm just saying, fire everybody. Anyways, so they say that my bags are out there, all four. I said, wait, hold on, because corporate says only one. So then I'm like, this is great. This is so exciting. All my tears. By the way, Spirit, I hope you know that within this, I'm still deciding whether I'm going to lawyer up or not, because all of this has quite literally ruined my entire family and broken us beyond measures. And I'm not okay with it. And now that you finally found the bags, which we still don't know if you did, but hold on tight, it gets better. I do expect some sort of compensation, and I don't want it to be flights with you guys, because honestly, this is crazy. Unless it's like a personal plane or something, I might consider. Anyways, so I'm like, oh my gosh, Maxine, you're heaven sent, right? So then I'm like, okay. She said she's gonna update me, because yet we still haven't confirmed, and there was still the other 3 bags missing, right? Okay, cool. So I'm on another important phone call. I get another phone call from Spirit Airlines. I said, hello. She goes, yeah, is this Tatiana? And I'm going to reenact the entire thing. And then I will attach, well, I have to pull from my Ring camera, but I'm going to attach the audio file. And I say, yes, this is her. May I ask who's calling? Yeah, this is Spirit Airlines. I said, I'm over the moon. Excited, right? Right? You guys, are you excited? Right? Okay. Yeah. We have your bags. I said, oh. Like my luggage? That's what I just said, right? To which I go, huh. I said, yeah. I said, where is we? She goes, Las Vegas. Are you coming to pick up your luggage or not? I wish I was lying and exaggerating, Spirit Airlines. I wish I do. I said, I'm confused. And she goes, uh-huh. And I was like, I just kind of just talked to corporate not too long ago, and they said that they think they found one, and it was at MCO. So I'm a little confused how you guys have it now. Out of nowhere, bags that were not able to even be tracked are now mysteriously popping up, but in different places now. So then she goes, listen, do you want your bags or not? Are you going to come pick them up or not? And I said, I was under the impression that when my bags were in fact found and confirmed found, that you guys were going to deliver it. Well, I don't know why they told you that. You can either come pick them up or I don't know what to tell you. You've got to be kidding me. I need you guys to pull up that entire conversation for me. I really do. And I don't know why she was acting like that. And I said, okay, well, I was still under that impression. So, and I don't know that those are the confirmed bags because I just talked to corporate and to central baggage claim, and they only had one, and they said it was at MCO. She goes, I don't know. Click. I can give you the number she called from too. She was a peach who did a holler. So I have no clue what's going on. I'm beyond frustrated at this point because my hopes, you're literally playing with all of my emotions, my family's emotions. It's just this, at this point, this is crazy. Like it's a movie. I already have a story, guys. Spirit Airlines. I'm the young widow, okay? I have a story. I had a husband who went to work and didn't come back home. I have Are you ready, Spirit Airlines? Because I recorded the call. And do you want to know? She got on the phone with an attitude, so I'm going to make sure I attach it to this. So she goes, why are you recording the call? I said, well, because are you the one that just called me with a terrible attitude? And then she explains something real quick about the bags. And she goes, well, I didn't agree to be recorded, and clicked on me. So I'm going to let you go ahead and handle that. Still don't have an understanding about the bags. Because apparently she doesn't either. So at this point, this is insane. This is insane. I don't know, Spirit Airlines. I don't know. You're gonna have to figure this one out, bud, because I'm pissed. I am now beyond the point of pissed because every single one of your employees, besides the Angel Maxine that called me from corporate, everybody else, clean house. Clean a house. Clean it. This is insane. I hope you can take this feedback as I don't even know anymore because apparently you guys don't really care.
I wanted to hop on here and tell my experience with Spirit. First of all, they canceled my returning flight from Fort Lauderdale. Didn't send me an email or anything. The only reason I found it is because I logged into the app, and they also then changed my departing flight going down, and then it just said cancel. Get on customer service, whatever. They were like, okay, yeah, we'll give you a partial refund, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Okay, great. I checked today. Nope. They completely canceled both of my flights and then didn't tell me. Go into customer service again, and they're like, oh, sorry, all we can give you is a $30 voucher for each person for me and Ben, so $60, and then gave me a refund for everything. Go back in to rebook, and the status of seats and everything that I wanted was sold out. So now I have to rebook and also pay for my seats and my baggage, which I've already paid for previously, but they canceled on me. And then the vouchers is the funny thing is I can't use it on the seats to rebook or on my bags. So thank you, Spirit, having the worst customer service. Do better.
I've been on TikTok for a while and I've never done a story time. So let's do a story time about the time I got stuck on a hot airplane for hours and almost passed out. Let's clock it. So one day I was coming back from Miami to Houston. And apparently there was some type of tropical storm or hurricane going on in the Houston area. So I was like, okay, let me check my app to see if maybe, the flight was canceled or delayed or something. And every time I checked my app, it said that the flight was on time and everything was great. So I said, okay, I'm just going to proceed to the airport. Everything is fine. So we got to the airport, everything checked out. We were able to get on the airplane. And then once we got on the airplane, I kind of noticed that we weren't moving. Like we weren't doing our normal things, going through the flight checks and just kind of going down the runway. I noticed that people were just kind of sitting there and looking worried. Now me, I have anxiety already. So airplanes kind of freak me out, but I love to travel. So every time I get on an airplane, I kind of just like deal with it and it just kind of comes naturally. I'll take a shot or I'll have an anxiety pill that'll calm me down. So naturally, I am the person that's always freaking out. So I kind of train my mind to not freak out when things don't go that way because I don't want to be seen as the person that's always freaking out because I'm like, oh, I know that gotta be annoying. So anyways, So we're sitting there, and I'm just looking like, we have not took off yet. Like, why are we still here? And so I'm just trying to do different things to keep my mind off of things. Listen to some podcasts, talk to my husband, different things like that. And then I look up. It's two grown men sitting at the front of the airplane. They were kind of just like, they looked worried. They were sweating. They took their shoes off. They looked like they were in panic mode. When I saw them panicking, it automatically made me panic because I'm like, now, what is going on? Why haven't we started moving? I'm about to start hyperventilating. Lo and behold, all of a sudden, there's an announcement that comes on. And the flight attendants let us know. The flight attendants make an announcement. And they say, I know y'all are all probably wondering why we're sitting on the airplane and we have not taken off yet. But we just want to let everybody know that we're experiencing some technical difficulties. And our pilots were coming back from Houston to Miami to drive this plane, but they haven't made it here yet. What do you mean they haven't made it here? You boarded us on a plane with no pilot? So now at this point, I am in full-blown panic mode because you mean to tell me instead of delaying the flight and letting us sit, at our gate and wait for the pilot, you decided to board us all on a pilotless plane, which just so happened the AC was not working. It was hot. We were stuck. I couldn't breathe. I mean, I already suffer from asthma, anxiety, claustrophobia. So, this is a nightmare for me. But even for everybody else in the plane, they were all complaining as well because they were sweating and it was hot. And I'm just like, what is going on? So I'm like, yep, you know what? That'll do it. You ain't got to worry about me. I proceeded to grab my carry-on luggage and I said, you know what? Don't worry about it. We'll catch the next one. So I hopped off the plane because in my mindset, I'm thinking, okay, I'll hop back on when the pilot gets there or I'll rebook the flight altogether. Regardless, it's fine. I just don't want to sit on a hot plane for hours. Like the AC stopped blowing cold. The AC wasn't, I don't know if it broke or it stopped blowing cold, but it was not working. Nonetheless, it wasn't working. So what happened next is I decided to go down the runway the same way I came onto the plane and open the door to leave. But this is where it gets funny. The gate, whatever you want to call that door that lets you into the runway to get on the plane, it was locked. It was closed. I could not get in there. And I'm like, what? I'm knocking on the door. Let me out. Let me out. It's hot on the plane. It's hot on the runway. There's no ventilation. There's no circulation. I am freaking out. And I tell the flight attendant, like, what's going on? The flight attendant's like, I don't know. They locked us in here. I'm calling them. They won't answer. They probably think we took off already. I said, what? Oh, no. Oh, baby, at this point, I called 911 and I called the fire department and said, come and get us out of here. So I'm going crazy. I'm asking for water. I'm pouring the cold water down my spine, trying to calm myself down. I'm thinking this is the end. And I just think to myself, like, why on God's green earth am I still flying Spirit? Okay, so moving on. It was some other people there too. The grown man I told y'all back in the beginning of the story, one of them was like, hey, listen, I'm claustrophobic too. That's why I was freaking out. Just try to calm down. It's kind of hard to do. I try my best. Finally, one of the airplane workers came from the side and they cracked the door open. I said, oh my gosh. So I try to put my face out the window, out the door, like, let me breathe. I'm like, this is great. And they're like, no, ma'am, you can't come out here. You can't step out here. This is federal property. Like, when he told me that I could not even put my face out that door to get a breath of fresh air, cold air, my heart sank because I'm like, this could not be real. The AC is not working on this plane. We're stuck on the plane. What do you mean? I'm not trying to literally leave. Like, I know that it's a hazard for a person to be walking around out there, you know, because it's federal property and you can get hurt. But I wasn't even trying to escape. I was just trying to step out for some fresh air. They refused to let me do that. Panic mode is really setting in now. I don't understand. How does this happen? Like, Spirit, y'all deserve to give us some type of explanation. Like, why did you board us? Like why not delay the flight, or why not wait for the pilot to actually get there before you board us? Like, what do you mean we're on a flight with no pilot? Like, make it make sense. I feel like that's a whole lawsuit. I digress. So, we were stuck on there for a while. I was trying to come out my wig. I was trying to come out my shoes. Anything. It was really traumatizing. And to this day, never flying Spirit again. Always Delta. But regardless, eventually someone did come and open the door. But at that point, I was over it. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to stay in Miami for another. So we finally got out. They opened the gate. We booked another stay to just stay in Miami a little bit longer. And then, you know, the craziest thing, our next flight was dang near about to do the same thing. Like, we went back to the airport the next morning, and you know what I did? I said, hey, look, let me ask you something. Is the pilot on this flight? Is the pilot on the flight? Is the AC working? Because I need to know. They said, yes, ma'am, the pilot's there. Get on the next flight. It's hot. We don't take off for a whole 45 minutes. And I'm just looking like, this is crazy to me. I'm just saying, I'm never going to fly them again. But you live and you learn.
I just flew into New York today, and because of my own procrastination, I wound up having to take a Spirit flight. And while I'm grateful that I made it, the flight was safe, the plane worked, the staff was there. I gotta say, Spirit will never, ever do enough to prove you wrong. I haven't taken a Spirit flight in about 4 years because the last time I took one, it was a nightmare. Let me tell you, this plane was atrocious. It was like the team that went in to clean it after just decided, we don't do that anymore. We actually add stuff to the seats. The seats were literally sticky. I was in a window seat and I was terrified to touch the seats in between because there were crumbs and actual goo. I don't know what the goo was, but goo on them, okay? The floor, crumb city. I watched one of the flight attendants almost bowl a woman over without saying excuse me, without addressing anything. She just walked by and barreled her down. It was one of the craziest, most vicious things I've seen in a 2-inch walkway. Now, my flight was a 57-minute flight, which in Spirit world means 5 hours because it took forever to get from Pittsburgh to New York. And I know that's not all their fault. I'm not blaming everybody involved. You can't change the weather, except it was beautiful today. You can't change that the planes don't work, but you kind of can. But it was a lot. I just want y'all to do better, Spirit. I really do. And I have faith in you. I believe it. Just try, you know? Because honestly, the flights aren't cheap enough for it to actually make sense because you pay double when you start adding bags, you know? You're not really cutting anybody a deal. And I was terrified to even check a bag because I knew it would get lost. I just knew it, so I didn't. Because last time I flew with y'all, it did get lost. And that's on me. Really, this is all my fault because I should not have procrastinated to the point that I had to take a Spirit flight. This is a moment of self-reflection. I'll do better. You do what you can. Okay.
Hey y'all, get ready with me as I tell you a quick story about my experience on Spirit Airlines. And it wasn't Spirit that was the problem, it was a customer. Okay, so I head on the plane and I'm like, hey, is this flight full? And they're like, not really. Not all the way. So I'm like, cool. I head to my seat and I am sitting in between two guys. So I'm like, oh, this is going to be a long flight and it's uncomfortable between two guys that I don't know. Like, I can't sleep. So once the plane takes off, I asked a flight attendant. It was a guy too. I'm like, hey, is there any chance that I can move? And he's like, sure, just hold on. So I'm like, cool. Cool, thank you. So once the flight takes off, ooh, what's that? Once the flight takes off, he's like, come on. So he brings me over to a row of chairs or seats or whatever, where a woman is laying down on all three seats. And he's like, excuse me, ma'am, get up. She's going to sit here. So she gets up with the attitude. I mean, attitude. Like, damn, man. Cursing. Damn, man. Like, I thought I was going to be able to sleep and enjoy this flight. Blah, blah, blah. She gets up and I'm like, oh my God, like, you can still keep your feet here. I don't mind in the middle seat. Because she was taking up all three seats, but she wanted to lay down. So I'm like, you can still, put your feet up. I don't mind. Like, because it's a free seat. Of course, I'm being nice and courteous or whatever. So I sit down and this lady starts to complain. She complains that, oh man, like I wanted to sit down, like I wanted to lay down. And she's getting loud. Mind you, this is somebody auntie or somebody mama. She's a good, I would say in her 50s. Yeah, 50s. She can't be in her 40s because I'm close to 40 and we don't look alike. But yeah, gotta be in her 50s. And she is complaining. And then she starts to say, it stink. Some stink. All that perfume, it stank. And in my mind, I'm like, who the fuck you talking about? Who you talking about, ma'am? Who you talking about, ma'am? Are you talking about me? So I carry on. I try not to, let her bother me. And then she asked the people in front of her for a mask. I'm wearing a mask, mind you. She asked the people in front of her for a mask. And then she asked the flight attendant for a mask. And they're like, we'll see. We'll see if we have one. They never checked. They checked her attitude. They never checked and came back with one. But mind you, I had an extra mask in my pocket, but she never asked me. And I was wearing a mask, but she never asked. But okay, whatever. Then another flight attendant comes in and she stops him and she's like, hey, can I move seats or whatever? Can I go in the empty seats? Because she really wanted to lay down. And he's like, it's an extra $75 to move up there. And she was like, well, I paid $38. And he said it's $75. So that shut her ass up a second. Oh my God. And then this lady kept saying, it stank. It stank. The entire time. Well, let me show you what I was wearing. Baccarat and a mix of Ariana Grande. And if y'all don't know, it's like a dupe. This smells like this. So I sprayed a little bit of this and more of this. So I mostly smelled like Baccarat on that flight. And apparently I stink. I was like, wow, this is OC. And it was an older black woman too. We were flying from LA to, Louisiana on a Spirit flight. And it was a red-eye flight, FYI. And this lady, what did she have on? She had some Burberry shoes. If this was your mama or your auntie, some Burberry shoes, a wig, and a Louis Vuitton purse. Yeah. It was the weirdest thing ever, y'all. It was the weirdest thing. And then as the flight progressed, mind you, I couldn't sleep because I wasn't comfortable. She kept on fucking complaining. So of course I couldn't sleep. Mind you, there was a baby in front of us, a brand new baby in front of us, right? That stayed silent the entire flight. Thank the Lord. At one point in the flight, she said out loud, fuck! The baby didn't wake up somehow, but I look like, bitch, are you crazy? Because you can't get comfortable? It was the weirdest thing. And then when the flight ended, you know, she acted like nothing happened. When the flight ended, the lady and the baby got up and she asked the lady, oh, the baby slept the whole time? And she's like, yeah. Y'all, just get your auntie. Whoever's mom that was, whoever's auntie that was, get her. She was wild disrespectful. Like, very disrespectful. Like, very. I didn't want to say something to her because I'm like, she's my elder. But I wanted to curse her the fuck out. I really did, but I didn't. I digress. Okay, that's my story time. Bye.
Okay, I just really want to come on here and quickly, maybe not quickly, rant on an airline. Take a guess which airline. Did you guess it? Yeah, Spirit Airlines. Okay, so had a flight today, left at 6:30 in the morning from Philadelphia. Have 2 checked bags, my mother and I. We get there, line is up the ass, which whatever. We go to the kiosk to get our check bag stickers. Doesn't allow us to, so it says go see agent. We're in the line to see the agent. After a good 30 minutes of waiting in line, we get to the agent, and she goes, immigration form filled out, please. And at this point, I'm like, okay, we do have an international flight, but never once in my life have I been asked for an immigration form for the other country leaving the United States. I mean, anybody else who's traveled probably knows that you need that form filled out before you get to the other country, the immigration counter. You need to have it filled out before you get to the immigration counter. Doesn't matter if you fill it out in the bathroom, doesn't matter if you fill it out in the air, doesn't matter where you fill it out, as long as it's ready by the time you land in the other country and go to the other counter in the other country. They said, no, we can't check your bags because you don't have that form filled out. I'm like, okay, strange. Never been asked this before, but okay. We didn't get an email letting us know that we needed this filled out, which, I mean, every other airline I've been with usually send an email out reminding. Okay, whatever. So pushes us to the side. At this point, we're filling out the form, scrambling, looking for all the details, blah, blah, blah. I fill mine out. I then start helping my mother finish hers. She had like a quarter to go. And by the time I was done with hers, I go to the counter and she says, no, the checked bag door on the plane is closed. I was like, no, like, what do you mean? She's like, no, you can't check your bag anymore. I was like, there's no way. There's no way. You have to send them. We still have time. Like, no one's, I mean, they're boarding the flight soon, but I mean, I need my bag on that plane. I paid for a checked bag. I don't have a carry-on. I need to send my bag. She says, no, ultimately you're going to have to rebook. There's no flights for today. I tried literally flying out of everywhere. New York, and nothing. So had to rebook for tomorrow. Had to pay $198 because of this. I'm missing out on my hotel, everything I've paid for in the other country because of Spirit Airlines. Somebody and everybody answer in the comments if it, like, part 2.
Hey y'all, it's a quick little story time. I'm gonna try to make it quick about my experience flying with Spirit Airlines. And the crazy part is, it was before I even got on the flight. I do my best not to fly Spirit, but when it's something really quick, I don't want to waste money. I was going to Atlanta to take care of my grandma, who my parents take care of, and it was their anniversary, and I wanted them to be able to have a date night without having to spend any money. So I was like, all right, found a ticket for $19. So I had no choice. I had to go ahead and book that flight through Spirit. So went ahead, booked the flight. Everything was all good. So it's the morning of, and I get to the airport, and I have my backpack, which is the same backpack I use every time I fly Spirit, because I know that they, be real particular about your personal item. And then I had a crossbody purse, which all I had in it was my cell phone and some lip gloss. So it was like not even that big, not even, a super bulky, but I understand that there are rules and that people have to follow the rules. So I was fully prepared that if they told me that I needed to put my purse in my backpack, there would be enough space. So I get up to the counter, hand my phone so they can scan my ticket, and sis is like, you need to condense your purse into your bag. Not a problem. Sure, as soon as you hand me my phone, I will step aside and I will do that before I go down the ramp. No, you need to stand right here, right there, and do it right there. Okay, not a problem. Sure, I'll do that. So she hands me my phone back. I step to the side and I go to put my purse in my backpack. Well, apparently I triggered an announcement. And so she gets on the speaker and she's like, I don't care if it's a purse, if it's small, if it's a fanny pack, you need to condense. All right, so everybody starts condensing their stuff or whatever. Ooh, it was all that neck, actually. I had flung my earring off. But so as I am putting my purse in my backpack, the other ticket agent person comes around and she's like, you need to put your bag in the bin to make sure it fit. And I'm like, well, I've already done that and it fits. So, and this is the bag that I always take. So, it's okay. And she walks away and they're, still taking people's tickets or whatever and doing whatever. So I put my purse in my backpack, put my sweater back on. I'm headed down the ramp. So, the one who came around the desk was like calling me down the ramp, but she's not saying like ma'am or miss or I had on a black sweater, like ma'am in the sweater and the black sweater. She's like, purple bag, purple bag. So I turn around like, are you referring to me? My bag was lavender, so I assumed she was talking to me. And she's like, yeah, you need to go get your ticket rescanned. And I'm like, well, why? She scanned it before she handed me my phone back. And she was like, you just need to go get it rescanned. Cool. So now I'm going back up the ramp, past all the people that's coming down the ramp to give my phone back to the girl so she can scan my ticket. She scans my ticket. And then proceeds to tell me that I need to go and put my bag in the bin because she didn't see me. And I'm like, well, you didn't see me because I had already done it. Like, I did it before I got back here to the counter because I don't wait till the last minute to make sure things fit. I've already done that. But I didn't say all that to her. I just said, I've already checked it and it fits. And she's like, well, I didn't see. And you cannot board until you check your bag. And she's talking to me this way with this attitude. So, it makes you want to be more resistant, but whatever. I went over there. So, I unzipped it to make sure all of my cords were pushed down inside because I had like my cell phone cord and my iPad cord, charging cords, and they were kind of like hanging out the side, and I didn't want anything to get snagged when I, shoved it in this little bitty bin. So, pushed everything down. Put the bag in the bin. Boom. It fits. I look to make sure homegirl sees, like, it fits. Take it out. I'm headed back to the ramp now because I'm just so annoyed. It's 7:30 a.m. I got people, people being disrespectful and shouting to me. So my mood is just, it's not pleasant no more. But I have to get on this flight. So as I'm walking away, I hear the girl who's at the counter who was checking the tickets asked the one who was telling me, purple bag and me, oh, did she have to take something out of her bag? And I'm like, no, I did not. And the girl's like, no, she didn't. So you still salty. So you went through all of that and my bag fit for what? You just wanted to humiliate me or call me out? You was mad because you not going to Atlanta? Like, I don't know what the reason was. Detroit, we got to do better. Like, I understand you got a job to do, and I understand that in the beginning I was trying to get away with something that is not allowed, which is why I made sure I had time. And maybe if from the beginning I would have had my person there, it wouldn't have transpired, but maybe not because they still would not let me board without me checking my bag to make sure it fit. And I mean, it was legit like a backpack. It wasn't like overstuffed. I was going to be there for 24 hours. Like, I had one change of clothes and a pair of sandals. So I'm not understanding why it looked like it wasn't full. It was very smushable. So anyway, Detroit ticket counter agents, whatever you are, we got to do better. Like,
You need to give respect. You do your job. I respect you for doing your job. I'm glad you got a job, but you ain't got to treat people that way. So, Spirit, no thank you. I'm good. Okay, y'all, so we've watched all these viral videos of people who traveled on Spirit Airlines and their travels were a complete disaster. So I want to know, after watching these videos, would you still fly on Spirit Airlines?